Before you stand 5 flowers, each representing a different way of experiencing love. Each of these plants is a symbol that carries not only its external characteristics, but also a deep internal truth about how you perceive yourself and others in romantic relationships. The flora you choose will not only reveal your desires and needs in love, but may also uncover certain aspects of your psyche that until now may have been unconscious. Carl Jung believed that our choices are deeply rooted in unconscious psychic processes that govern our decisions and preferences. Therefore, by choosing one of these 5 flowers, you will confront an image of your own soul. It will be a moment of reflection that will help you better understand how love shapes your life and what mechanisms influence your relationships. So, look at the flowers before you and let your intuition guide you. Which one attracts you the most? Each will tell a story about how you view love, passionate, tranquil, full of harmony, or perhaps imbued with a mysterious depth. If you chose the red flower, you know that love for you is a force that not only illuminates but can also burn. The red rose, associated for centuries with passion, fire, and intensity, symbolizes something far deeper than mere romanticism. It is a feeling that knows no bounds and can evoke both joy and pain. In this case, love is a force that transforms you while guiding you through emotional storms that leave marks and great rewards. Carl Jung, in his Psychology, spoke of the shadow side of our nature, the part we try to repress but which has a significant impact on our relationships. For you, choosing a red rose may mean that your heart is fully open to these intense emotions, those that send shivers through your entire body and transform you into a blaze of feelings. For you, love is not something calm and balanced, but rather like a wildfire that burns with an unstoppable force. You fall in love with every moment spent with your beloved, every conversation, every glance. The emotions you experience in love are full of contrasts. At times, you feel euphoric, and at others, wounded. Your desire for a complete and unconditional connection with another person is strong, but it also carries risks. Because while passion is beautiful, it can also be dangerous. Without proper boundaries, it can lead to exhaustion, pain, or difficult emotions that require deep purification. Jung said that what burns most brightly within us is often unconscious, like a volcano that can erupt at any moment. This unconscious force drives our desire for love, but also our fears. Your choices in love may often be motivated by hidden desires deeply rooted in your psyche. Perhaps you are someone who fears abandonment, and this intense love becomes a way to try to control those fears. In a way, you want to be loved completely, with full strength and commitment, because you know that only then can you experience a true connection. On one hand, the red rose attracts, awakens emotions, and makes your heart beat faster. On the other hand, if you are not careful, it can lead to a dependency on intensity. This may mean that you don't know how to be calm enough to simply be. Sometimes you seek intensity in love, even when the external world becomes too chaotic to satisfy you. This may be a sign that your relationship with love is both salvific and destructive, a passion that nourishes but also burns. Jung, in his analysis of archetypes, emphasized that archetypes like the lover or the romantic are important aspects of the human psyche. However, to understand yourself in relationships, it is worth examining those hidden desires that can bring not only joy, but also pain. Choosing a red rose is to be aware of this duality, of the fire that can not only illuminate but also burn. Your approach to love may lead you to make difficult decisions because it is easy to get lost in feelings. When you enter a relationship, you want everything: total surrender, absolute intimacy, and fiery passion. However, what you get also includes storms that come with great intensity. In this case, Jung would say that what you desire is so powerful that it can take control of your life, If you chose the yellow flower, your approach to love is filled with joy, lightness, and hope. This flower, always associated with the radiant sun, symbolizes openness, warmth, and optimism. Your perception of love is clear, like the glow of morning that dispels darkness and brings a sense of security. For you, love is not a burden, but a source of joy that gives you energy and motivation to live. These are relationships full of laughter, understanding, and mutual growth. Carl Jung believed that our attitude toward love is often the result of internal defense mechanisms that can either liberate or limit us. For those who choose the yellow flower, love is a space where they seek lightness and harmony. They reject the darker aspects of relationships, trying to avoid conflicts and difficult emotions. Their relationships are filled with positive energy, optimism, and mutual support. These are people who want their love life to be simple, yet filled with deep joy. Love in your life is something that should strengthen, not overwhelm. For you, choosing this yellow flower means you see love as a space full of hope, where every moment with the other person is an opportunity to laugh, share happiness, and build something beautiful. In your vision of love, there is no room for complications or dark aspects. You are someone who believes that true love grows based on positive emotions and understanding. However, it is worth reflecting on whether your desire to keep the relationship on a bright and joyful plane hides a certain fear of more complex emotions. Perhaps you fear deeper, more turbulent feelings that may arise when you begin to open up to true intimacy. Jung pointed out that avoiding difficult and negative emotions in relationships can lead to superficial connections that, in the long run, do not satisfy deep psychological needs. Love is not just about being happy. True harmony can only be achieved when you also accept the darker sides of yourself and your partner. Thus, your choice of the yellow flower may indicate your desire for love to be a space free of conflict or pain. However, it's worth asking whether this optimism leads you to ignore important issues that could facilitate a deeper understanding of yourself and others. Love that has only positive aspects can end up becoming an illusion, a superficial beauty that does not withstand the test of time. Carl Jung spoke of the process of individuation, which involves integrating all aspects of our personality, including the difficult and unwanted ones. Only then does love become full, deep, and mature. If you chose the white flower, it means your approach to love is filled with peace, purity, and harmony. White flowers have always been associated with innocence, transparency, and spiritual balance. Your perception of love is idealistic. You see it as something pure, undisturbed, that should bring harmony and stability. For you, love is something that not only ennobles, but also provides security and peace. Your relationships aim to find balance and serenity. You avoid chaos and confusion, seeking the ideal partner who fits your highest ideals. Carl Jung, in his Psychology, spoke of the so-called shadow, those parts of our personality we try to ignore, but which influence our lives. For those who choose the white flower, this may mean they tend to idealize love, imagining it as something pure and perfect. This approach can lead to very high, sometimes unrealistic, expectations of partners. Love becomes something that, by definition, is full of beauty but can also cause disappointment if reality does not match your ideal notions. The white flower also reflects a search for peace and balance. For you, love is a space where you expect harmony, understanding, and mutual support. You are not someone who seeks turbulent emotions, but rather stability and peace in relationships. Your heart longs for security, both emotional and physical. You want to create relationships that are calm, based on trust and mutual respect. You seek a partner who brings balance, peace, and simplicity to your life. However, Jung emphasized that our idealizations can be problematic, as they prevent us from fully accepting our imperfections or those of others. Idealizing love as something pure and perfect can lead to frustration when confronted with a reality that is not so flawless. All relationships have their challenges, and love is not just a refuge of peace, but also a space for growth, where partners learn from each other, even in difficult moments. Choosing a white rose may mean you tend to seek perfect love, where there is no room for conflicts or misunderstandings. Your relationships may seem simple and pure, but may lack the deeper intensity that a more tumultuous love can offer. Jung said that one of the most important aspects of personal development is the ability to integrate the shadow, that part of us that is not perfect, but equally important for achieving wholeness. Just as love is not only pure, but also true and authentic, even if it involves difficult moments. If you chose the purple flower, it means your approach to love is filled with mystery, depth, and transformation. The purple flower, symbolizing mysticism and spiritual maturity, indicates your desire for love to be something more than a superficial feeling. For you, love is not just an emotional bond, but also a journey toward yourself. It is a relationship that has the potential to transform both you and your partner. Love is not something static for you, but a dynamic force that leads you to discover new dimensions of yourself and the world. Carl Jung, in his Psychology, spoke of the process of individuation, the path each of us takes to become whole. In your case, love is a key element of this process. It is in relationships, in closeness with another person, that you discover your deepest desires, fears, and inner work. Choosing a purple flower means you see love as something that not only brings pleasure, but, above all, is a path to a deeper understanding of yourself and the world. Your feelings are profound, sometimes difficult to understand, but always hold the potential for transformation and spiritual growth. The purple flower also symbolizes a search for mysteries. Your relationships are not just about everyday interactions. Each person you connect with becomes an enigma you wish to unravel. In love, you seek deeper truths about yourself and others. You desire intimacy that is not just superficial but spiritual. What is unsaid, what is hidden in the shadows, is as important to you as what is expressed on the surface. In your psyche, love is something that evolves, changes, and transforms constantly, leading you to new understandings of yourself. However, as Jung pointed out, all transformation comes at a cost. Choosing this purple rose may indicate that you tend to seek depth, even at the expense of stability. Perhaps you aspire to explore unknown corners of your mind and emotions, but you don't always know where this journey will lead. In your case, love can be a path that is not always comfortable. It forces you to confront your own fears, the darker sides of yourself, and your past, which may be difficult to accept. Jung spoke of the process of understanding the shadow, that unconscious part of us that is fundamental to our development. For you, love is often tied to this process, because it is in deep relationships that you face your own shadow. Your desire for transformation to achieve wholeness means you do not fear changing yourself or others. For you, love is not just a relationship with another person, but also with your own inner world. This can lead to certain difficulties, especially when love becomes too demanding or complicated. You seek something more than a simple relationship. You want something that goes beyond the surface, something that allows you to discover new aspects of yourself and your partner. However, this deep desire to seek the truth about love can sometimes lead to excessive intensity that leaves no room for the simpler, everyday aspects of a relationship. Love, as Jung pointed out, can be both a path to enlightenment and a trap if we are not prepared to face our own shadow. Your search for depth and transformation in love can be highly positive, but it may also lead to excessive analysis and introspection, causing you to lose touch with the everyday reality and practical needs of the relationship. It may be a sign that, at times, it is worth stepping back from the pursuit of absolute truth to appreciate the simplicity of the present moment and the relationship. If you chose the blue flower, it means your approach to love is filled with peace, balance, and emotional stability. The blue flower, always associated with the sky and water, symbolizes deep inner peace, trust, and harmony. Your vision of love is full of stability. You seek relationships that offer you security, where you can be yourself without worrying about chaos or unpredictability. For you, love is a space where trust and openness are fundamental. It is a relationship where two hearts coexist in peace, and partners create a shared space full of understanding and mutual respect. Carl Jung, in his work on the human psyche, emphasized the importance of trust and security in interpersonal relationships. For you, choosing a blue rose may mean you seek a love that is not filled with drama or restlessness, but is based on simplicity, sincerity, and openness. Your emotional needs center on security, where you can relax, talk, and feel accepted as you are. Your psyche seeks stability. You dislike uncertainty and need to feel secure in relationships to fully commit. The relationship that matters to you is an oasis of peace in a world full of chaos. You want to create a space where both you and your partner feel safe, free from judgment and tension. The blue flower is a symbol of the trust you build in your relationships. It is a trust that comes not only from words, but from everyday gestures that confirm your intentions. In your vision of love, there is room for a calm and balanced relationship, where both partners feel fully accepted and supported. However, Jung also pointed out that an excessive need for stability can lead to avoiding difficult emotions, which are a natural part of any relationship. Your desire for calm and harmonious love may sometimes mean avoiding deeper, more intense emotions associated with turbulent moments in relationships. This can lead to situations where the relationship becomes too safe, too predictable, and thus less enriching. Jung said that love should be a process that helps us evolve, not just seek comfort. Your choice of the blue rose may indicate your desire to avoid conflicts or emotional dramas, which can lead to superficial relationships. It is worth reflecting on whether your desire for peace and security is causing you to avoid deeper challenges that could bring more growth to your love life. In love, as in life, true stability does not consist only of avoiding difficult moments, but of knowing how to face them with full awareness and with the trust gained through shared experiences. On the other hand, your approach to love is also filled with positive qualities. You are someone who values trust, loyalty, and security. In relationships, you seek a partner with whom you can build something lasting, with whom you can share your life in peace and mutual respect. Your relationships are based on a deep understanding that does not require grand gestures, but everyday acts of support and understanding. For you, love is a journey that does not involve sudden changes, but a gradual discovery of the other over time, as you build a shared history based on trust and tranquility. Jung said that the key to a true relationship is the integration of the different aspects of our personality. Choosing a blue flower may indicate your search for total harmony, but also the need to accept that love is not just an oasis of peace, but also a space where differences collide, where we must fully know ourselves, not just in our ideal version. Love does not consist of avoiding challenges, but of knowing how to face them in a way that strengthens the bond rather than weakens it. Therefore, while your desire for stability and tranquility is beautiful and admirable, it is worth asking whether your relationships are challenging enough to allow for your growth. True love, full of trust, is one that does not fear confrontation, does not avoid difficult emotions, but is capable of navigating through them to emerge even stronger in the end. It is worth aspiring to a love that is tranquil but also deep, a love that not only provides security, but also offers space to grow, change, and discover new levels of yourself and the relationship together. At the end of this journey you have undertaken by choosing one of the 5 flowers, it is worth asking yourself, what does this choice say about your view of love and relationships? Each of these flowers reflects different aspects of your psyche, your desires and fears that influence how you love and are loved. Perhaps you have discovered something you didn't see before, some subtle desire that shapes your relationships, or a barrier you have unconsciously placed in the way of love. Carl Jung said that our choices are deeply rooted in unconscious psychic processes that guide our decisions and desires. In this case, choosing a flower has become a tool to discover what mechanisms guide you in your relationships, how you perceive love as fire, light, harmony, mystery, or peace. Each of these flowers is a metaphor that helps you better understand yourself, your emotional and relational needs. Perhaps now, after this reflection, you see how important it is to find a balance between these aspects so that your relationships are full, authentic, and satisfying. Understanding your approach to love gives you space to grow and develop, as well as to create relationships that not only meet your needs, but also allow you to be fully yourself. Remember that choosing a flower is not the end of this journey, but rather the beginning. It is an invitation to continue exploring your psyche and how your beliefs and emotions influence your interactions with others. Love is not just a feeling. It is a process that requires continuous development, understanding, and acceptance, both of yourself and of the other. Therefore, regardless of the flower you chose, I invite you to look at yourself from a new perspective and try to open up to a deeper understanding of love. Not only the love you receive, but also the love you offer. Remember that love is a process, not a goal, a journey in which, with every step, you discover something new about yourself and others.